Tonight, man, I want to talk to y'all about how pimping was born and became the cheat code to dominating women. Now, before I get into this, I'm going to go ahead and say right now that I'm going to touch on some topics that some men might be able to take personally. But I'm giving a disclaimer right now. None of this is a personal attack on anyone. This is all about the activities of men when it comes to dealing with women and how this blueprint was laid down for us and how so many men out here don't follow that blueprint and continue to follow the other side. See, let me tell you something. There's only two kinds of men in the world. You're either a pimp or a trick. Those are only two kind of men in the world. Every other type of title that we give men can all be traced back. The lineage of every descriptive term we give men right now can be traced back to either pimp or trick. Nothing else. Everything. When it comes to dealing with women now, when it comes to dealing with women, there's only two mindsets. That's the pimp mindset and the trick mindset. There are no other mindsets. We can talk about alpha, we can talk about beta, we can talk about select, we can talk about dumb, we can talk about omega, we can talk about sigma, we can talk about whatever we want to talk about. We can talk about player, we can talk about Mac, we can talk about all the type of game, we can talk about master's level game, finesse game, we can talk about ice cold game, we can talk about anything we want to talk about, but every single descriptive term that defines a man's interaction with a woman can be traced back to two. Either pimping or tricking. And that's just the bottom line. See, tricking is deeper than just paying money to women. Pimping, tricking rather, is about paying women with anything that you value. If you give a woman all of your time in exchange for her sex, you're still tricking. If you give a woman sex whenever she wanted in return to just be with her intimately, then you're tricking off your wood. Anything you value that you trick off makes you a trick. It's just not about money. It's about value. It's just that then those men lived in a time where the value of a dollar was so much higher that they valued the money. That's what was valuable. Now the money isn't that valuable. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you need a lot of money to buy a little bit of stuff now. Not like it was once upon a time. Master Me, appreciate the $20 super chat, brother. So, another thing that I want y'all to understand is that somebody asked me this before and I said I was going to cover it tonight on this particular show. Which came first? Tricking or pimping? And tricking came first. In this particular society, the original tricks were the slave owners. Now, of course, they didn't have to trick off anything. They didn't have to trick off money. Even though let me tell you something. They didn't have to trick off anything and they ended up tricking off stuff. They owned these women. But they still would give them trinkets and treasures and favors and access to certain things. And eventually some of these women would end up, man, being treated like a wife, man. They be living in the house. They be living well. They ain't have to lift a finger, had control of all the other black folks in the house, man. Like that was a time. I mean, some of these women could even, say a couple of things to some of the lower level white boys hanging around. So you got to understand that these men were tricks by nature. So the tricking came first. The tricking came first before the tricking even had to be there. Now, let's go into the origin of pimping, man, because a lot of men don't know where pimping started, man. Pimping started out of necessity. Like people want to, black men who are pimps are the low down, the scum of the earth. Every man who says that, man, not only sound like a woman, but sound like a white woman saying that. Oh, pimps are the scum of the earth. They should all be vanquished away from the face of the earth. That's how these dudes be talking. But let me tell you something. Pimping is the blueprint to dealing with women successfully. See what I'm saying? Pimping started with the men who accepted that their wives had been defiled while they lived on the plantation. Those men developed an ability to detach themselves from their emotions. Because how distraught would a man be with a woman that once he got free with her, he had to think about all the times that master had his way with her, or any other white man on the plantation had his way with her. But those men wrap their mind around the concept. If you know that this man has access to your woman, bro, you got to detach yourself from those emotions. But when they were expurgated from those plantations, they got out in the free world and realized, man, that the free world wasn't free. Everything had always been run outside of their life. Their life was inside the plantation gates. Now, outside the plantation gates, they realized they didn't have many options at all. So the men sat their women down and said, you know what? Master has a real affinity for you. You know, Master Johnson has a real affinity for you. He couldn't keep his hands off of you. And he even got to the point where he'd give you a little song. Let me tell you something. I want you to go around now. I want you to go see Master, right? You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're doing this for us, baby. You know, I mean, you know, I hate to send you around there like this. You know, I love you, baby. I hate to send you around there like this, but you know, sometimes you gotta take one for the team. You understand what I'm saying? You know, we went through a lot on that plantation. Now it's time for you to show me that, you know, you in it with me for the long haul. So I'm gonna need you to go back around there to the plantation. I'm gonna need you to holler at Master John, and I'm gonna need you to go around there and do what you need to do. And I'm gonna need you to, you know, hit him up for a little something. You know what I'm saying? Tell him to break you off a little something. See what you can get out of him. Did? And it happened. Once it happened, it spread to the other brothers who had their mind, you know, in the proper perspective to be able to pull this off. Because a lot of those brothers, man, were just emotionally distraught. A lot of those brothers had real emotional issues with the women once they were expurgated from the plantation, once they moved on from the plantation life, and they realized that this is the same woman, man, that used to go in there and be ravished by master. Used to be ravished by master, man. Whatever master wanted to do to her, ravished her in front of the man if he wanted to. Whatever he wanted to do, whenever he wanted to do it, he came in and did it. The simp, the trick, his mind couldn't take that. A lot of men's mind can't take the pimp mindset, brothers. That's why I don't talk about it as much as I used to, but I'm back on that thing now because it's the only way to deal with women. All this other stuff don't make no sense, man. So now, this went on for a while, but there's only so much you can get. And let me help you understand something. If you want to have dominion over a man's mind, you pull him out of his comfort zone. If you want to change a man's outlook on his life, as well as yours, as well as the world around him, you pull him out of his comfort zone, and in that zone, you get a chance to teach him. Because every man is willing to learn how to navigate a new environment. Any smart man has to learn how to navigate a new environment. That's just the way it is. It doesn't matter where you put him at, what environment you put him in, he has to learn to navigate it, and he's willing to be taught to navigate it if someone's willing to teach it. So this is where the game really changed. When you know, when the prince brought Massa away from the comfort of his plantation to have his fun, because now he's entering the pimp's domain. And let me tell you something about a trick. When a trick caught up on a woman, he'll go through hell and high water to get to her. A lot of men out here right now go through hell and high water to get the women that they ain't even caught up on. It's called a dating game. It's called dating. They go through everything that a trick would go through, but the difference between them and the original trick would at least have had the woman before. He's caught up on the woman. He has a affinity for the woman. He's addicted to the woman's loving. These boys right here ain't never got no loving from the woman, and they still going out doing everything that a trick would do because they have a trick's mindset. This isn't about me attacking anyone. This is about me speaking on the facts of life. There's a trick mindset. There's a pimp mindset. Those are the only two mindsets that men have when it comes to dealing with women's, brother. And that's the real talk, man. So, you know, once you pull that man away from the plantation, this is how you do that. And this is how they did that. You send the woman in. I mean, you send her in her best, smelling good, looking good, because now she's getting a few trinkets out of her. And of course, you know, once you teach her how to put that sob story on Master Man, well, you know, I ain't gonna be able to come over here too much. You know, I gotta, you know, we got, you know, we're out there in the world now. You know, we gotta, you know, I got to make my way, you know, and she don't never talk about the man. I got to make my way out there. You know, I'm out there in the world now. So, you know, I gotta figure out a way to, you know, to sustain my life. So he's willing to break bread. He can't stand to lose that thing because now she's bringing it to him. He feel like a man now. See, now he's getting emotionally attached to her because he feels like she must really like him. She must really like him in order for her to come all the way back to the plantation to be with him. She got to like him. So he opens himself up more. He started opening himself up to the concept. Now, these are times where you couldn't just, even though a man could, men wouldn't just walk around and openly flaunt a black woman. You know what I'm saying? A plantation owner wouldn't do that. But in his heart, he's getting caught up. And this is how the pimp plays on that. She goes in and tells him, well, it might be a while before I can come back because it's too far for me to come and blah blah. But if you can come see me at such and such and blah blah blah. And eventually Massa gonna bite the bullet. He might bite it right there. Okay, well, yeah, whatever I need to do. Another angle that they use is to, tell her just can't come back for a while. Make him miss her for a while, and then let her go back, but let her go back, on not on a sexual terms. Let her go back and go in there and kind of make him seem like he had to seduce her to get it. This is how a woman works on a trick. See, women didn't know this shit. Women had to be taught this by pimps. Women learn seduction from a pimp, man. Women don't know how to seduce men. They really don't. They don't know how they didn't know the art of seduction, man. Women had to be taught everything by men. The problem in this society is that these men view women from a trick perspective, so they think because a woman has an education, she knows something. Hey, man, if a woman is a psychologist, if we ain't talking about psychology, she don't know shit. If a woman is a nurse, if we ain't talking about nursing and medicine and taking care of patients, she don't know shit. If a woman is a hairstylist, if we ain't talking about hair, she don't know shit. She got to be taught everything, man. So, once Master decides that, now Master has to come to an area that and from now we're going to call him John. We ain't calling him Master Johnson no more. We're going to call him Johnson. Now, Johnson has to come out to a new environment now. It's not a new environment because he knows the city, but he's got to go to a part of the city where the black folks congregate now. Because think about it. All these people are freed now, and of course, they all go to a community and create a community together, or at least in a living environment together. So he's got to figure out where to come. So he's over there. Now, granted, you got to keep in mind that everybody black back then wasn't a slave. You understand? There were things that black folks owned back then. You got to know the history of this thing, man. So you won't think everybody was just trapped on a plantation. There were black men with businesses already. So that's kind of where these people congregated to. So now Master got to come to some rinky-dink hotel. Now, keep in mind, there's a brothel in town. There's at least one brothel in every town. There's a brothel there. So these men can go to a brothel and get this same treatment, but they can't get this same treatment from a black girl at a brothel. Wasn't no black girls at the brothels then. Very few, and they were very fair skinned. I'm talking about the chocolate bunnies that Master liked. Johnson liked these chocolate bunnies. He wanted to come where the chocolate bunnies were. And he'd go anywhere to get that chocolate bunny, man. Everybody like a milk chocolate Easter bunny. And some of us like a dark chocolate Easter bunny, but everybody love a chocolate bunny, man. Even men who don't think they love a chocolate bunny love a chocolate bunny. So, the essence of this, the key to all this, was making sure that you gave that woman the freedom. This is something that the modern man can't do. He can't wrap his mind around the concept of giving a woman freedom. You send your woman back there to Johnson at the plantation, you give her freedom to do everything she needs to do to get the most she can get out of it. You know what that does to Johnson? It gets him hooked on that black bunny, man. He hooked on that chocolate bunny now, man. He gonna do whatever. He can't get enough of it. He like a boy on Harlem Nights, man. He call home and tell his old lady he ain't never coming home no more. Listen, he can't get enough of that chocolate bunny. That's how you really turn the tables. See, getting those men hooked on that bunny, then depriving them of it by stopping the women from making that trip, that makes them men go crazy. They probably at the plantation cutting up on everybody, man. Probably beat up their old lady, man, because she getting on their nerve. Or they try to get with her, man, and she just lay there stiff like a log. She don't put it on him like that chocolate bunny put it on him. So he got to get the hell out of there, man. He about to go find that chocolate bunny. Now, let me tell you how the pimp benefits from this. The pimp benefits from this because now when Johnson comes to wherever it is, see, having a place to call home, even if it was a hotel, that put a pimp in a more powerful footing in the rich trick's eyes. Johnson looks at this man in a different way now because this man has something that he actually controls. Johnson has to come in there and abide by that man's rules in that place. And let me tell you something. You might say, well, during that time, they would have hung him. Johnson ain't the type of man that's going to hang the man that controls the chocolate bunny. Johnson don't want to fight no more. When you get a man in his feminine energy, where he's lustful and he's all in his emotional space, that man don't want to fight. You understand? A man who is all in that emotion don't want to fight, man. He want to lay down with that woman. So animosity and all that ain't on his mind. He want to do what he got to do to get with that woman. So you got to understand the power that women have over a trick in order to perceive this, man. So now, and this is the thing. Another thing about this, seeing how that black woman that he falls head over heels for bows down and serves this brother, this black man that he thought was beneath him. You know what that does? It serves to further extricate the idea of superiority out of the white trick's mind. Now he don't look at that man like he over him. He look at that man as a businessman that he need to negotiate with because he need this chocolate bunny. This is when the tables turn. Not only did Pimpin give you the blueprint on how to deal with women, Pimpin gave the blueprint on how to turn crumbs into bricks, how to turn crumbs to bricks on the back of a chick, man. That's what Pimpin showed you. Pimpin showed you the design of a woman being a helpmeet. Pimpin showed you that helpmeet means that whatever that man needs that woman to do in order to help the process and move the process along, she does that. Pimpin has granted men the ability to just look into the annals of history and figure out how to deal with the world at large. But you men would rather go out and listen to tricks. And this is something else you got to understand. Eventually, the brothels were reduced to mere curiosity level, because of two things: one, that black bunny, and two, the rush of doing the taboo that the trick felt. You got to think about it. Being with a black woman, man, was still taboo. It was still something you had to sneak around to. That's why they were so free to do it on their plantation. On the plantation, them are your rules. You get outside the plantation, there's rules of society. A white man couldn't be out there, man, in public with a black woman back then, bruh. He had to go to the hood to do it. The first hood was all good for him to go in there and get him some of that black bunny. He couldn't do that nowhere else. There were actual laws in place that forbade certain things. And it forbade it from men too. It wasn't like, man, just because you had a plantation, you can marry a black woman. Nah, they ain't play that back then, bruh. They kind of just left you to do what you want to do on your own plantation. You got to govern it however you wanted to. They ain't have no. It wasn't like with no police force to come run down on you. Then men pretty much self-governed a lot back then, man. So once the brothels were reduced to mere curiosity level, and I'm gonna tell you the third thing that caused the brothels to be down to that level. Black folks didn't trust white folks back then. So those black women were not finna, those chocolate bunnies, they weren't finna go up in no brothel, man, controlled by no matter. They weren't finna do it. And let me tell you something. Anybody can say what they want to say. We can talk about marriage and we can talk about wives and who makes a better wife and who does all that. But you lying in here, man, if you telling me that when it comes to something to poke on, that you wouldn't prefer to poke on a fine young black tender. If every man would rather poke on the chocolate bunny. When the last time you seen a white chocolate bunny on Easter? Every man would rather poke on a bunny. Now some men are emotionally distraught from their relationships and their interactions with the chocolate bunny in the past. So now, they rather go, to the other side. They rather deal with another type of woman, but that's an emotional thing. Sexually, there is nothing better than a bad little chocolate bunny. I don't care what nobody say. Even if you don't agree with it, you know I'm telling the truth. Kevin Sitstrong, appreciate the $2 super chat, bro. Brother said that perspective is brilliant, man. Appreciate that, bro. Be real mahogany, man. What's good, bro? Appreciate the $10 super chat, bro. Say Dr. BoA last year. I spent 1 hour with the harlot. No kissing, just action. We conversed after 2 rounds. Now my interaction with women hasn't been the same since. Now I think all the harlots. And you know what, bro? That type of interaction will do that to you. That type of interaction will do that to you, man. That's why I don't understand why men continue to be out here with this one-itis and this, this NAWALT search and all of this, man. I don't even understand that, man. And I sure don't understand, man, why these men out here pursuing these women in this dating thing, man. I just don't get that, man. You know what I'm saying? My thing is this: it's a mental thing. You have to look at the prospect of being a trick and look at the prospect of not being a trick, and you have to decide that you don't want to be a damn trick. And a lot of men just don't do that. Hebrew McHenry, appreciate the $5 super chat, bro. Now, another thing is this, man. Eventually, the game was so widespread and solid that I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Pimp should honestly be recognized as the blueprint of turning of like I said, man, turning crumbs into bricks and with the total cooperation and corroboration of your chick, man. Pimp should be credited with that. Anytime you have any successful interaction with a woman, it's because you have done something pimp type. I ain't talking about finally getting a woman to go on a date with you and you done took her on 5 dates and you finally get to lay down with her. You already in the hole. And once you take a woman on 5 dates, you already in the hole. Cause see, let me tell you something. Nothing that a woman has is worth money. And time is money. The only thing she has that's worth time is sex. That's the only thing she has that's worth time, but she has absolutely nothing that's worth money. Nothing. Nothing. You could think 1,000 years and you ain't gonna come up with nothing that she has that's worth money. So the trick's mindset is not to pay the woman because she has the value. It's to pay the woman because he knows she'll accept the money and give him what he wants. Like he literally just that's the trick mindset. The trick mindset is I will give the woman whatever she wants because he values the woman more than he values whatever he's given her. When you think about a man valuing a woman more than he values his money, that's crazy, man. I want y'all to think about the logic of that, man. Think about how logical it is to care about a woman or to need a woman or to want a woman more than you want your money. Think about the concept of that. More than you want your money, you want a woman. More than you value your time, you value a woman. Don't make no sense, man. Now, I'm going to tell you, man, the game began to change when former tricks started trying to pimp on bras. That's when the game got muddied up, when former tricks, and some of them were still tricks, tried to pimp on bras. Now, that's what started the gorilla pimping, because when you ain't got no finesse game and you ain't got no true game, no cold game to spit to a bra, man, then you got to resort to gorilla pimping. And another tactic, man, zipping hoes up. You know what I'm saying? Well, zipping hoes up, that's get them addicted to a drug, man. Get them addicted to your drug of choice, whatever it is. A lot of time it was that powder back then, man. It's getting them addicted to that oop, man. Sometimes they were getting them addicted to that girl. They were getting addicted to the girl and the boy. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they were getting addicted to both, man. You know, giving them speed balls, man. So it was just a lot of that. And these men turned the game. And they made the game look bad. The way the average trick looks at the game now and say, man, pimps are dirty. They get women hooked on drugs and all that. Those boys are the ones, man, who turned the game into that. But the trues were still true to the game. You know what I'm saying? The trues still respected the game, respected the craft of the game. You know, pimping is a craft, man. Either you got it or you don't. You know what I'm saying? But you can learn. You can learn to not be a certain way, man. You know, you can learn to capitalize on it enough, man, to just not be a stone cold trick. C-Los, appreciate the $10 super chat, bro. So, and this is the thing, man. Fear was always a factor in the pimping. It was always a factor. Like, fear was a factor before the guerrilla pimping. But let me tell you about two types of fear. These are two types of fear right here. And even men today exist in the guerrilla pimp fear, and they don't even understand it. There are two types of fear. There's the guerrilla fear of pain and punishment for not obeying. That's the guerrilla fear. Now, some women respond well to the guerrilla fear, but the majority of successful pimps didn't use guerrilla tactics. You have the guerrilla fear of pain and punishment, and you have the lion fear of waking up outside of the presence of the pimping. That's the ultimate level of mastering women. When you put the lion fear in women where the greatest fear in her life is waking up and you not in her life no more? And she's not in yours? These cats don't understand that level of game. This is deeper than a lot of these boys can comprehend, man. Man, that's the ultimate level of, that's the only thing that should be called game. All these other stuff they talking, man, this ain't game. Pickup lines ain't game. Telling a woman lies, telling her what she want to hear, man, that ain't game. That ain't game at all, bruh. The lion fear is what you want to put in a woman's mind, man. There's no better fear than the lion's fear, man. You put the lion fear in a woman's mind, bro, you done did yourself something. You know what I'm saying? You put the lion fear in a woman's heart, man, it don't never go nowhere. You know what I'm saying? It never goes nowhere. Nigga, I had women from motherfucking 10 years ago just hit me up out of the blue just to see how I'm doing. Just to see how I'm doing and tell me they love me, bruh. Just because they was reminiscing about how good it was when I was the leader of their lives, man. I go way back with this, bruh. If I was one of them old niggas that wanted to prove something to somebody, man, I bring a few chicks on and interview them. See, let me tell you something. You can interview chicks from now, and that's cool. Chicks from now all want to be in front of a camera. So you can get a chick in front of a camera for any reason. You understand? But I'm gonna do it one of these times, man. I might do that. I don't know if I'm gonna do it on here, on Patreon, or for the members or whatever. Man, but I'm gonna end up doing something like that. Just bringing on a chick, man, from about 10 years ago. A chick that I ain't seen in 10 years. And let y'all hear the giddiness in her voice just to be on with me. How she turned into a little girl. You understand? After all this time, she still turns into a little girl. After all this time, she just pleased just to talk to me, just to hear my voice, just to, still bowing down to me and making sure that everything is okay, even though we're not even in person, man. And I may have in person, man. I'm gonna do something like that, man, one of these times, man. I just got to figure out a reason to do it. Like, I don't have a reason to do it right now. So once I come up with a reason to do it, man, maybe I'll run out of content ideas one of these times, man, and I end up doing something like that. But for me, that's the type of life I'm talking about. Don't tell me what you're doing now, because anybody can show what they're doing now. You might just been doing that shit for 6 months. You might have been doing that for 2 years. Let's see how historical this stuff you talk is. Pimping is historical. It's historical. That's why these boys don't claim it, because they know historically they've been tricks. You can't claim it if you was a trick 5 years ago, if you was a trick 10 years ago, if you was a trick 15 years ago, if you was a trick 20 years ago, nigga, if you was a trick out the womb. Because if you're a trick by nature, then no amount of pimping is going to change who you are. All you can do is try not to be a low down dirty trick where women just run over you. But you can use this pimping and apply it to the square world, man, and improve your interaction with women. Let me tell you something right now, man. If you're not researching pimping, if you're not researching pimping, if you're not coming to the alpha sphere, and anybody dropping any type of similar content to this, not just men talking about women, but similar content to this, similar things to what I'm talking about, if that ain't where you're going to get your information about women, then you get information about women from tricks. A trick can't teach you nothing about a woman but how to be a better trick. It's crazy out here, man. Rob Patron, man, appreciate the super chat, bro. Bro say, man, spitting life changing content. Got a situation, my girl all over me all the time and talking future plans. She submit 95% of the time, but the second I slip on a bad day, she start the attitude. Man, you know what? Submit 95% of the time don't work, man. The bro got to submit 100% of the time. That 5% of the time is just enough, man, to do like that. Get on your damn nerve. She start with the attitude. You know what I'm saying? She can have an attitude, but she need to go somewhere else with it. She need to go over her mama house with her attitude. Every woman gonna get in her feelings and have an attitude. You just gotta make sure she knows that you ain't gonna put up with that. It ain't gonna happen around you. So maybe she need to go stay with her sister for a couple of days, man, until she get over that. You know, you ain't gonna be able to stop her from having an attitude, but around you, it need to be 100% of the time submission, man. And if she can't do that, then she needs to move on. And the thing is, man, if you're not cohabitating with her, then don't do it. That way, if you are cohabitating with a man, maybe you jumped into that too fast. Or just look at it for what it is, bro. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if she's submitting 95% of the time, man, then but she talking future plans, bro. If what she's talking ain't on the wavelength with you, let me rephrase this. Man, damn what she talking, bro. That's your situation. She in it with you. Nobody give a damn what she talking. You got to take control of the situation. You can't be letting no one put no pressure on you, man, to make no plans that you don't want to make. She ain't got no business making no plans for you anyway. She can make plans for herself, but she ain't got no business making no plans for you. She ain't got no business talking no future plan with you unless she talking about what she planning to do in school or what she talking about planning to do in her career. So you gotta take control of that communication, bro, and and look at it like this, man. You stick to your guns. Whatever, if you don't want to go the route, man, that she want to go, man, then cut her loose. It don't matter if she submit it don't matter if she submit 95% of the time. If where she want to go, you don't want to go there with her. You find yourself in a situation, man, where you're lying to a woman to keep her, bro. You don't want to do that. Steph is cold. Appreciate the $50 super chat, little bro. Appreciate it. Bro, say salute BoA. I tried donating at a different channel I used to support, and I don't know why I can't, so I came to try here, and it works every time in the super chat. Much love to you, big bro. No doubt, little bro. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. I know all y'all rock with my little bro, man. But if you're new here and you don't, hey man, go subscribe to his channel, man. You know what I'm saying? Go do that. Go do that. That young brother is on fire, man, doing his thing, man. And I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. That's my little bro, man. I'm proud as hell of him, man. Real talk. I'm proud as hell of it. And I tell him this all the time, man. So salute to you, little bro. So, man, the thing is, bro, we got to understand that this is the easy way to deal with women. See, let me tell you, the easiest thing a man could do is have a set of rules to follow. You know what I'm saying? The easiest thing to do is have a set of rules to follow. If you want to get lean, set your rules and follow them. That's all you got to do. Set your rules and follow them. If you get a trainer, he going to give you some rules. He wants you to follow those rules. Follow those rules. Set those rules and follow them. That's the only way to ever get results in life. You got to set some rules and follow them. And ain't no rules when it comes to dealing with women but the pimping. Those are the only rules. Everything else are just inclinations of men's machinations of how things are supposed to go and about female nature and all that. Man, female nature has never affected me as an adult man in a negative way. Ever. Female nature has never affected me in a negative way as an adult male. It technically doesn't even exist to me because I'm going to stick to these rules of engagement. That's what pimping teaches you. Stick to these rules of engagement, and if a woman can't buy into that process, she doesn't belong. That's what the rules say. The rules say is my way or no way. That's one of the rules, brothers. Now, another thing, man, is this right here, man. Pimpin' ain't dead. These niggas just scared, man. Pimpin' ain't dead. See, we can call it alpha game. We can call it like, hey man, the alpha male is a man who has adopted the pimp outlook, at least on women, and specifically on women, rather. He's adopted the pimp outlook on women. The beta male is a man who's adopted the simp outlook, the trick outlook on women. You know what I'm saying? The man who believes in whining and dining women and showing them a good time and leading with his wallet, that man is simply based on the trick dynamic. That's what he is, man. He's based on the trick prototype, as that's a term that seems to be pretty popular today. He's based on a trick prototype. That's what it is. He's a prototypical trick. And listen, man, if that's who you are, then that's who you are. Nobody's blaming you for being a prototypical trick. That's just who you are. You have to accept that. But I'd be damned if it doesn't bother me for men who are the prototypical trick to be out here teaching that tricking. You understand? I've heard a man say, man, that a man should lead with his wallet. Now, I believe in front and flash. I believe in showing up looking like money. I believe in showing up looking like money. But I ain't cashing no chick out, bruh. If you cash a chick out, man, you a beta male simp, man, Johnny, bro. You a trick. You a simp. It ain't no cashing no broad out. It's putting yourself in a position where you look like you can cash her out. Of course, get your jewels and tools together, man. You're going to have a better response from women when you get your jewels and tools together. But getting a better response from the woman is just the beginning. How you deal with women is what pimping is based on. It ain't based on getting them. You can be a trick and get women. Listen, you can be a trick and get women without tricking. But if you turn into a trick afterwards, what's the purpose? This ain't about getting women. This is about dominating the women that you get. Either dominating or eliminating. That's all you do, man. You either gonna dominate or eliminate every woman that you come into contact with. And that's what the pimping is based on, man. That's what the pimping is based on. Another thing is this, man. As I stated before, man, there's only two kind of men in the world, pimps and tricks. That's it, man. I mean, if a man is willing to spend money on a woman, man, that has given him no benefit, he is a trick. That's just the way it is, man. Men don't want to accept these terms. See, let me tell you something. Men will accept a lot of terms. It's just like a woman. A woman does not. Let me tell you something, bro. A woman respects, honors, and desires the pimping. She respects, honors, and desires the pimping. She just don't want you to call it the pimping. A woman honors, respects, and desires a man that's built like this, but she don't want him to call himself a pimp. Pimp has such negative connotations in today's world. She don't want to tell everybody she in love with a pimp. She rather tell everybody she in love with a thug. She rather tell everybody she in love with a hustler. She rather tell everybody she in love with a bad boy. She rather tell everybody she in love with a rich nigga. She rather tell everybody she in love with anybody. She rather call you anything other than a pimp. A woman don't want to admit, man, that the pimping got her caught up. She don't want to admit that. So the term itself is taboo. And when the term pimping became taboo, the term tricking became taboo. So now men who wine and dine women are just nice guys. They're just thoughtful guys. They're just considerate guys. Men who take women on shopping trips, they're just nice guys. They're just men who know how to treat a woman. No, the hell they don't. They don't know how to treat a woman. That's why they get treated like they get treated by women. That ain't how you treat a woman. You say, he sure know how to treat a woman. Well, that ain't how the hell you treat her. Show me the man who then got a whole bunch of good reactions from women and he out there tricking off. The mindset of a trick causes him to overlook a woman's energy. And you can be a pimp, and if you start tricking a woman's energy, it's going to be different. A woman's energy is going to be different to you. But you so busy chasing her body. You so busy letting your lust lead you as a trick that you can't understand that the woman's interaction with you is different. Man, let me tell you something. When I be hearing married men saying that after the first year, man, the sex was gone, I was like, nigga, when the sex left, you should have been gone too. What other reason are you living in the house every day with the woman talking about this my wife? What's the other reason? And man, let me tell you something. The men I know who are married, man, they got paper. They was already getting paper. Ain't like the woman came through and upgraded their lives with her presence. They was already getting to the money, man. How you with a woman, you the one getting to the money, man, and you ain't even getting no sex. You gotta look at her ass every day. You gotta lay in the bed with her every day, bruh. You got a roommate in the bed with you. Most roommates don't sleep together. You got a roommate, man, y'all sleep together. Nigga gotta go to bed every night with his roommate. Man, who does that? I'm talking about in the same, even in prison, nigga, you don't sleep in the same bed. Here you are, man, in a situation, man, where you and your roommate, you and your partner, man, sleep in the bed together. Come on, man. Then they use term on these boys, man, like life partner and like, man abroad ain't partners on nothing. Men abroad can't even go half on the baby, man, cause my seed is about 70% of that baby, man. We can't do none of that. So, that's why, man, with me myself, with me, I love women, but my respect for them stops at the level of respecting a woman. I don't give any woman the same type of respect that I give a respectable man. No woman can get that. No woman can earn that. There's nothing she can do. The more masculine she becomes, the less respect I'm gonna give her. So when she get to the upper echelon of femininity, that's where the respect stops at. But it's an amazing level of respect for a woman. That's why you don't hear me. I'm not finna be on no pounder man, go having no back and forth with no women. I'm just not finna be on no pounder man, chopping it up with no chicks. About nothing. I don't want to do it. You understand? Because because the thing is, it's liable to turn into me just doing a whole bunch of talking. You know what I'm saying? It's probably going to turn. It's the propensity for it to turn into me just doing a whole bunch of talking and doing a whole bunch of listening is very high. That's probably how it's going to turn out. So when talking about that thing, man, that there's only pimps and tricks, man. That's a hard pill for a lot of men to swallow. You know what I'm saying? That's a hard pill for a lot of men to swallow because this is the thing. If you don't accept the fact that you're not a pimp, then you'll never accept the fact that you are a trick. You'll never accept the fact of that, man. And the bottom line is all this alpha energy is it's just it's the ism. When it comes to dealing with women, bro, it's the ism. That's all it is. And a lot of men can't accept that. A lot of men can't accept the fact that women were put here for their benefit. Pimps recognized that so long ago, man. Like pimping just don't get enough respect from men. Women don't ever have to like it. Nobody cares what they like. But it just don't get enough respect from men. For all that is represented, man, and showing men how to deal with women. And especially showing men and women's nature. If you want to talk about female nature, man, what shows you female nature more than a woman who's with a pimp? Who goes out every day and gives her body to other men, but gives her emotional attachment to the pimp. And the pimp may not even have sex with her, but she can give her emotional attachment, have her emotional needs, have her emotional appetite fed by one man, and then go out and give herself physically to multiple men daily. And we're not talking about one woman or one type of woman. We're talking about all these pimps having all these different flavors, man. Not just the chocolate bunny, all these different flavors, man. We're talking about the chocolate bunny, the brunette frappuccino. We're talking about the blonde Guinness. We're talking about all these things, man. Yo, man, listen, bro. I mean, listen, bro. I mean, we talking about pineapple patty. We talking about all of these different flavors, man. And they all live the same life. They give their emotions to a pimp and go out and give their physicality to other men every day, multiple men. Now, why would you think that you gonna be the one that find the woman who don't have that same inclination? See, it's not about their nature, it's about their inclination. It's about their inclination to do things. And that's just the reality of it, man. And this is the main thing, man. Where that boy at? When you think about this, man, why now you might ask yourself, why do women respond to the pimping like this? Why do women respond to the pimping like this? Because women love the control that comes with being out of control. They love the control that comes with being out of control. Now that's some pimping. Might not make sense, but I'm gonna explain it right now. Women like being in control of their lives. But control of their lives to them simply means freedom to do whatever the hell they want to do. When a woman is out there on the track, bro, she can do whatever she want to do. When she out there on the surface, man, she can do whatever she want to do. She can go out there and be free. She can let herself go, man. She can do all type of freaking things, man, all day. Man, let me tell you something, brother. If you truly believe that these women were out there using their bodies and they weren't getting no pleasure out of it and they weren't addicted to it at the same time as the tricks were, if you truly believe that these women were going out there doing something that made them miserable, then you're a bigger fool than I thought you were. A woman ain't gonna keep going back doing something that make her miserable over and over again. Even if a woman with a man who put hands on her, she gonna keep going back until it makes her miserable. When it makes her miserable, she probably finna kill that fool and bounce, or she just gonna bounce. The moment a woman is the what she's doing makes her miserable, bro, she's out. That's why these men lay up in these marriages, man, and wake up divorced. Didn't even know they were gonna be divorced. Wake up divorced. Wake up with a subpoena. They ain't even know it. Didn't even see it coming. Because once that woman finds something miserable, bro, once it's misery, she's gone. She's out. And these women went back and did this every single day. So there was no misery in the life for the majority of those women. See, they love the control that comes with being out of control. So as long as you control everything that matters, then they feel like they have control of their free. A woman just want to control her free time, bro. That's all she want to do. She don't want to control. She want to control her time in a way that's not tied to her having to manage her life. That's why a woman to go get with a man who got all the money and she ain't got nothing. A man ain't hardly finna go be with a woman who got all the money and he ain't got nothing. And marry her too? Nah, man. Men talk about it. Nigga talk all the time. I'll marry Oprah Winfrey. Man, no, you wouldn't. You're not finna be broke and go marry Oprah Winfrey, bro. The majority of men ain't gonna do that. But a woman will do it in a minute because you know what? She don't want to have responsibility. She want to for her. The fewer responsibilities she have, the more she is in control of her life. But at that point, she don't realize that her whole life is being controlled by the pimp. Her money is being controlled by the pimp. Her living arrangements are being controlled by the pimp. Her clothing choices are being controlled by the pimp. Her hairstyle is being controlled by the pimp. Her comings and going, what time she leave, what time she come back is being controlled by the pimp. She don't care nothing about none of that. All she care about is not having no responsibilities. And going out, having sex every day, man, for the majority of women, it's not a responsibility. It's a vibe to them, bro. It's a vibe. That's why these bros will run the surface every night, man. They get out there and run the surface every night like that, man, because for them, that's freedom. They out there chilling with the girls, man. They out there. And let me tell you something else. Let me tell you something else. In a dual purpose dynamic, she also got to experience the opposite side, the thrill of controlling a trick with her only superpower. Her only superpower is a hot pocket, bro. That's the only superpower she has. She has no mental superpower. She has no emotional superpower. She has no spiritual superpower. She has no physical superpower outside of her hot pocket, bro. That's her power. So, on one hand, she's totally out of control. There's a man controlling her every move, but she's okay with that because it eliminates responsibility for her. And then on the other hand, she goes out and she gets to be a man's queen. She goes out and gets to be a man's prize. She goes out and gets to be a man. Man, let me tell you something. It gives a woman power to know that men will pay her for something she's willing to give away for free. It gives her power. The modern woman, the most empowered position she can be in, man, is either being a stripper or being an IG model. Man, that's why, bro, let me tell you something. I don't rock with no IG models, bro. I am not finna. Man, that is straight up empowerment. Bro, a woman ain't even got to dance or move or nothing. All she got to do is dress in something provocative, take some pictures, and put them up. And then go by her, bro. She can sit there with her feet kicked up, man, eating some ice cream, bro, while she watching the response to the pic she put up that she took 4 days ago. The tricking is bad these days, bro. The tricking is bad these days, man. It's terrible these days, man. And that's why I just lay low, bro. I lay low, man, because I don't want to be guilty by association with this tricking, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do it, bro. So I say this to you, brothers. Every man should respect pimping. Even if you ain't gonna be a pimp, even if you ain't gonna apply it to your life, you should respect it. Because the way that pimps lived with women and interacted with women should be the envy of every man alive. Every man alive should be envious of that. Because that is one hell of a vibe, bro. I'm telling you what I know. I'm telling you from experience, bro. That is one hell of a vibe. Every man should feel that vibe at least once in his life. Every man should feel the vibe of even having one woman fully dedicated. Most of these kids ain't never had one woman fully dedicated to their process. But man, when you got multiple women fully dedicated to your process, bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. It puts you in a different stratosphere of alpha energy. You start to see what it feel like to be the Don. You understand? And bro, that's amazing, man. That's amazing.